My name's Hallie Moore, and the poem that I've selected is Plastic by Tony Hoagland. One could probably explain the whole world in terms of plastic, used now for almost everything, for little ivory forks at picnics, and green toy dinosaurs in playrooms everywhere. The rooks and pawns of a cheap $4.95 chess set made in the People's Republic of China. And those Tupperware containers which open with the perfect quiet pop to yield the tuna fish sandwich about to enter the mouth of the secretary on his lunch break. You could talk about how the big molecules were bound in chains with biochemical reactions, then liquefied and poured like soup into intricate factory molds for toy soldiers and back scratchers, airsick bags, and high-tech Teflon roof racks. You could mull over the ethics of enslaving matter, even while feeling admiration for the genius it takes to persuade a molecule to become part of a casserole container. And what about plastic that has become dear to you? Personal plastic. The toothbrush and the flip-flops. The hollow plastic Easter egg which held jelly beans inside. The 12-inch vinyl disc that in 1976 brought you Jezebel Brown and the attorneys of Cool. The plastic companions into which the lonely heart was poured, which gave it color and a shape. Or in another case, the blue polyethylene water bottle I saw sitting on a table in the park on Saturday, between two people having a conversation about their relationship, which you could tell was probably near its end, as the various lubrications usually coating the human voice were all worn away, leaving just the rough, gritty surfaces of need and fear, exposed and rubbing on each other. I wonder if it would have done any good if I had walked over and explained a few things to them, about plastic, about how it's so much easier to stretch than human nature, which accounts for some of the strain imposed on the late 20th century self, occasionally causing what has been called interpersonal adhesive malfunction. They might have been relieved to know that science had a name for their feelings at that precise moment of modern living, which may be why each of them kept reaching out to seize the plastic water bottle and suck from it in fierce little hydraulic gulps, as if the water was helping them wash down something hard to ingest, or the bottle was a life vest, keeping them afloat on an open sea. Though their pink, elastic lips, wrapped around the stem of the bottle, were so much more beautiful than plastic, and the smooth ripple of their flexible, muscular throats made the only sound audible above the tough, indifferent silence now starting to stretch over everything. Tony Hoagland starts off this poem almost challenging the prevalence of plastic in our daily lives. He names all the little inconsequential instances that we deal with on a daily basis. And then the mood kind of shifts, and that's where I really start to like the poem. He introduces the idea of personal plastic, which I think is cool. This idea that it can mean more to certain people. He begins to relate the seemingly empty and ordinary substance to its true position in our daily lives. And plastic becomes not just an ordinary building material, but it takes on all the qualities of personal importance people tend to give their possessions. He paints a picture of each object that he names existing in a moment in time, and within that moment filled with a deeper personal meaning. And I always really respond to poetry that deals with the moment in time where some object or some instance is frozen and used to represent a larger set of feelings that it evokes, or some specific memory that really just sums up a person or their experience. And I shot this project entirely on my cell phone because I feel like it really kind of fits the mood in that here's an object that is a piece of lifeless technology, really, yet we use it daily to connect to other people. And it goes from a hunk of plastic and metal and circuits to a way to hear your grandmother's voice or hear I love you in the middle of the day. And just like that, suddenly this hunk of synthetic materials was imbued with all the livelihood of a real person. So this way I'm not only capturing a voice, but also a face to give it a little more personality. And going back to the poem, I think it's really easy to get frustrated at how industrial and materialistic our society has become. And I mean, this is coming from someone that just owns a lot of stuff. And Tony Hoagland brings out a very refreshing perspective on this, reminding you that in everything there's a story.